setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. Glad that you have joined me. Today we're just going to talk about general things because today, as I'm recording this, is Black Friday. So let's talk. I'll be right back.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
So how many of you had to get up early this morning and wash dishes? I was one of them. I tell you, on Thanksgiving, you do all of your cooking right, and you mess up all of your pots and pans and dishes and side dishes and everything else, and then you say after you're done, oh, you know what, let's just do it tomorrow. And you all had to go watch a movie, or you go watch TV, or just go to bed. I finished up a series I've been watching on Amazon, and I'm glad it's all done. I tell you, it's built back in back in the early centuries of the country of England, which is thousands of years old. But I've been watching this about a family, about a miner, and then became a legislature, and then went to the House of Commons. I mean, it's a very interesting storyline, and I got hooked on it. And now I'm done. I finished it all up yesterday. I've been working on it for a whole week because I took the week off because I always close down my office during Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving is one of those holidays that I love, and I could sit back and I could go into my home office and write. I'm writing a book at the moment. So it was just kind of quiet time and planning my meal for Thanksgiving and just kind of reflect over the past year. But today is Black Friday. Now, I don't know if you've opened up your email. I had 150 emails from Walmart, from Lowe's, from all over the place of people offering Black Friday deals. Unfortunately, they don't know that I buy everything online. So I am not going into the mall. I'm not going into any stores today. If I need to buy something, it will be done online and shipped to the individuals that I need it to be shipped to. Luckily, I don't have to, since I've shut down my office, I don't have to buy staff gifts this year. So it's just me and the dogs. And let me tell you, the dogs are on thin ice. But I was just surprised at how many emails I got today from all kinds of, even people offering me Black Friday deals on continuing education. I didn't know they could do that. I have a Black Friday deal out there also. I wrote a book last year. It's called Ethically Thinking. It's Not That Hard. And it's on Amazon right now. It's a good stocking stuffer. It's not very big. I wrote the book because I had gone through a ethical issue in my business life. This was almost 4 years ago now. And it wasn't anything I did unethically. It was something somebody else did unethically in my company. It really affected me tremendously. And so, I'm instead of bitching, I'm going to write a book about ethics and how an unethical act hurt me. And then I talked about all kinds of different subjects that has to do with ethics, like procrastination, the ethics of words, and the list goes on. But I wrote it for myself because I needed to get it out. I needed to get out that frustration of unethical behavior and how it affects your business and your personal life. You would be surprised at how an ethical act can affect your life in years to come. I'm still dealing with it even to this day. My flashbacks in my mind and thinking, I get really angry, and then I have to say to myself, you know what, Mike, forgive again, and let's move on. Forgive again, let's move on. And I've had to deal with that even to this day. I think about it. So it's amazing how things affect you. And the best way to get it out, for me, is writing. And so I wrote the book, Ethically Thinking. It's not that hard. It's a very small book, very cheap book also. And it's a good stuff, a stuffing, what do you call those? Christmas stuffing, those stockings. The stockings you hang by the fireplace. It's a good thing to stuff those with, or to give as a gift at the office or anything. Again, it's Ethically Thinking. It's not that difficult, and it's on Amazon.com, and it's written by Michael Lodge. Go out and get it today. It's very, very cheap. It's hardly anything. Listen, with all the Black Friday things coming in, as a financial coach to a lot of different people in a lot of different businesses, and as a mediator and as a person who deals with business every single day, I know that you think that today's the best day to get all those deals, right? But in order to keep your budget in line, sit down and figure out how much are you going to spend this year on gifts for Christmas. And then budget it on your spending. Everybody doesn't need a brand new TV. Everybody doesn't need anything that is extravagant. Kids don't need the latest model on games. If you can't afford it, don't do it. Think about the gifts that really mean something to people. I love books, and I love receiving books. And I'll tell you that all of my friends, they get books. Every year they get a book. And I do that because I want them to read. I want them to take up some time and curl up on a sofa or on your bed or wherever you want to curl up at, on a park bench in a park someplace. But read a book. You would be surprised at how relaxing it is. And I think that you and we need to focus on slowing it down just a little bit, not getting so anxious and so overwrought with what are we going to buy people. Simplicity means so much more to people than anything else. I've been giving books out for probably the last, 7 years. My staff gets books. Last year I gave everybody, because I got certified by the Dave Ramsey, so I got a whole box of books from Dave Ramsey. If you really want to know about personal finances and how to manage your personal finances, Dave Ramsey has a whole bunch of good books on managing your school finances, managing your personal home finances, business finances. He has a whole book source out there for you to take advantage of. And then I also love books about history. I just get so enthralled with history. Usually when I watch Netflix or Amazon or Hulu, I try to find movies that are historical and in context. And I spend my time on that because I want to learn. I have this desire to keep learning. And I think that that's where we have lost a lot of things in life is that we lose that desire to learn. And that learning process is what makes you a much brighter person, a much well-rounded person. So I really want you to think about the types of gifts that you're buying. Create a budget this morning before you go out to the mall. Create a budget, who you're going to spend on, who you need to buy for, and what you're going to spend on each person. And then total up and see if that's within your budget. Then you need to modify that budget if it's not what you can afford. Remember, if you go into debt, if you use your credit cards at 18%, 17 or 18% today, you've just downgraded your financial position. So find out what you can spend in cash. What cash do you have available? And what is your budget to spend on each of those individuals? Now remember, you don't need to buy gifts for everybody in the world. Buy gifts to those people that are the closest to you, or the people that you want to help. But focus on that budget. Don't overspend. Because I tell you, at Christmas time, this is when people go into debt. Do you know I have clients that come into my office that have $30,000, $40,000 in credit card debt, and the majority of it is because they've went on expensive vacations or they bought expensive gifts for people. So now they're in debt. Debt never makes you a millionaire. It makes you a pauper is what it makes you. So I want you to go out and have fun today. But before you go and have that fun, or you start spending online, focus on what you can afford. And that's it, what you can afford. So that's my lecture to you on Black Friday spending. The other issue that I want to bring up to you is that I've been talking to you about this for the last several months. You only have December left. That's it. If you have not talked to your tax accountant and figured out if you've taken enough out of your W-2 wages, enough taxes taken out of your W-2 wages so that you don't owe at the end of the year. Remember last year when you did your tax returns, you probably owed something because you didn't adjust your W-2 income and taxes based upon the new tax rates. Well, you have new tax rates that went into effect in 2019. Did you adjust your W-2 wages so that you're not going to be in the same fix that you were last year? That's all I ask. Sit down with your tax accountant. You've got your pay stub. You know what you've earned. Now sit down with your tax accountant, send it over to him and say, listen, am I going to owe or am I going to get a refund at the end of the year? Because he knows all of your property taxes and everything else that you are taking as a deduction. He also knows if you didn't have any deductions and you were just a straight 1040. So think about that, because you have lost so many of the deductions that you used to have. So you need to take into effect, have I planned for 2019? Am I good in my tax issues for 2019? Have I covered all the bases? So you only have 2 more paychecks for 2019. Some of you may just have 1 more paycheck. So you have just a little bit of time to adjust your W-4 that will take into effect and adjust all the W-2 wages and taxes that should be withdrawn in order for you to comply with the tax code and that you are not owing at the end of the year. Or maybe you've taken too much out and you need to adjust and take a little bit less out. It could be either or. So really think about that, because it's important that you be proactive on your 2019 tax return. Got it? So that's it for today. I'm not going to give you any more lectures. I've given you 2. Black Friday spending and your tax situation. And then we'll start again looking at all the tax rules next week. and all of the business issues that are coming up, and what you can do and what you can't do. It's going to be fun. Looking at the 2020 issues, it's going to be a whole blast of fun. So get your coffee, but get strong coffee, because I may put you to sleep on some of them. I'll be very honest with you. I noticed this, okay? Political Tuesdays, I do a political show, and it usually attacks those issues that are going to affect us tax-wise or business-wise or even in our general households. That's my highest rated show, is when I do my Political Tuesdays. When I talk about taxes, that is when I drop in the ratings. Because none of you want to listen to tax issues. But I really think you should, because there are a lot of things that affect us, and we need to know about them. The IRS has issued new tax regs for 2019 and 20, and we need to start talking about that and thinking about it, because it affects us all, right? Every time the IRS takes its little blue pen out and starts changing stuff, it affects you and I. So we need to know about that stuff. Even though it's not fun, I know it's not as interesting as moaning and groaning about politics, but it's a vital thing for us to know what's happening tax-wise. So get ready next week. We're going to start that. And if you have questions, this is where you send it to. Send me a text, 818-252-5682. 818-252-5682. If you want me to talk about a specific tax issue or a specific business issue, send it to 818-252-5682, and I will address that issue. I promise you. This is Mike Lodge for the WBT. Let's go out on your Black Friday and have a good day. Remember, no overspending. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.